I now recognize myself for 5 minutes for questioning. In earlier hearings this year, I referred to the observation from a reasonable man's perspective that our nation has suffered a generational trauma brought upon our citizenry by the Biden administration policies as enacted and executed by Secretary Mayorkas. I stated at the time it would be difficult to measure just how significant the impact would be. I reflected upon the possibility that in the coming decades, America would be seen as that this was sort of a dividing era between a level of success and prosperity of our nation and the impact of the Biden administration policies at the southern border, that Americans 10, 20 years from now would speak of what America was like before President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas, and then what was America like after President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas. And I believe those observations are accurate. I didn't imagine at the time it could get worse, gentlemen. But in our research on this committee and in my constant communications with officials and boots on the ground throughout Central and South America, and in observing the expansion of the Biden administration border policies all the way through Central America and into South America, to see the CBP One app twisted from its original intention to allow for what they refer to as legal pathways into our country, and have processing pushed down into Panama, Guatemala, in Colombia, to see the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of human beings sucked into the vacuum of this policy, into an incredibly treacherous and deadly pipeline run by cartels to feed the disintegration of our sovereignty that was established by the Biden administration. Let me just say that I expand upon my original observation. The Biden administration and Secretary Mayorkas, as his Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, directly responsible for executing the policies and agenda of the president, they brought generational trauma upon the entire Western Hemisphere. It's impossible to measure. There's no matrix that could fulfill what this hearing is designed to investigate and reveal: the historic dollar costs of Mayorkas' open border, the health care costs, hospital and emergency services costs, the law enforcement costs, the financial burden imposed on cities and towns across the country, the cost to ranchers, farmers, and border industries. The list goes on and on. I think it's impossible to measure at this point what the true and deep financial impact of the last 2.5 years will be upon our nation and the citizens we're sworn to serve. Mr. Lyons, I would ask you to address the observations that I've shared, sir, and perhaps your own perspective.
I love my small community that I live in. One of the challenges that we face if we do not secure this border is a rise in the criminal element directly to our south and east. The New Generation Cartel is in control of that area. They prosper. They charge anywhere from $8,000 to $60,000 for somebody to cross the border. And while they are charging for these people and sometimes holding them hostage until their families pay more, as has been reported by the mayor of San Luis Rio, Colorado, the violence continues to rage, where we've had over 350 assassinations in that area. 2 days ago, they attempted to arrest the chief of police in San Luis Rio, Colorado, by the military because of some of the challenges surrounding this specific item of illegal immigration and control of narcotics coming across. It won't be long until this spills into our country, and it has been, and the situation continues to rage out of control.
I thank the gentleman, and I thank our panelists for being here today. My time has expired.